Okay. This lunation is the bridge from one year to another. This past year was a strength year, and wow, was it ever. The strengths, archetypes, gifts come through the direct experience of overcoming challenge. It is a time where you grow through engaging with what you would prefer not to look at. The truth, uncomfortable truths, whether they be around needs, instincts, and desires, or those things that are shot through with shame, our fears, flaws, or sins. Strength is a call toward living, and living is often scary, messy, strange, unbearable, full of excitement and surprise and boredom and repetition. To stay awake in the dream, to succumb to our weird joys and passions and shadows and let them teach us so that we may live with less delusion and more heart. Live with less delusion and more heart is how we navigate the tests and opportunities of evolution. Strength is an emblem of emotional maturity and reviving the power of our childlike selves. When we reach the level where we are no longer reacting like wounded children with tantrums or defensiveness or sulking, then we have more space for the best qualities of our childlike selves: playfulness, innocence, curiosity, wonder, and particularly sought after lack of self-consciousness. This year, inner demons were cuddled into submission and monsters were everywhere. In the news, presiding over the law, in the house next door, and in the mirror. Monsters create another so that our fears can be projected outside of us or rejected entirely. Something we don't have to take responsibility for. Monsters are what we avoid: unmanageable, untamable, and an unpredictable type of power. Monsters are also wildly imaginative. They beckon us toward different realms, different options, different choices. On Earth, we're briefly gorgeous, Ocean Vuong writes. A monster is not such a terrible thing to be. From the Latin root monstrum, a divine messenger of catastrophe, then adapted by the Old French to mean an animal of myriad origins: centaurs, griffin, satyr. To be a monster is to be a hybrid signal, a lighthouse, both shelter and warning at once. Look into the eyes of Medusa and you won't turn to stone. Get close enough and you might see her tears. You see yourself on the surface of her sight. When we grow unnameable, unmanageable, larger than the boxes we were in, we become hybridized. Hybrids are shapeshifters, those who create and recreate themselves over and over, those who chose the joy that come from difference over suffering of another's contortion. We grow fangs, wires, and snakes for hair and claws. We can defend ourselves, survive the enemies, take back our space, and reclaim our time. When our imaginations return and we're brave enough to settle into our truest expressions, we grow wings, flippers, more heads. We gain more sight, perspectives, more tools and tactics of escape, of opening escape routes out of thin air so that we may be able to find our way back home to ourselves. Today is a new moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is a hybrid signal, hairy and scaly. Unlike to fare well solely on land or completely in water, but perfectly equipped in the extremes, caves, deep dives, shorelines, mountaintops. This new moon is one to see where our strength has hybridized us, made us puzzling and fascinating, how we've been reworked and restitched after many unravelings. It is time to name the specific qualities and superpowers. Oh, I never did what I said I was going to do. I'm still going to, I just haven't yet. I got a little distracted. That have emerged out of this year, and to be clear about how they will serve our ambitions and hopes for the next. In the dark, quiet promise that is the end of this year, tune into the inner signals that come from the intuitions and instincts of your own personal wildness. What are your core truths you've learned this year? How have certain shadows been catalysts for growth? What have you learned about strength this year? What does the story of your undoing and redoing look like from the perspective of the harpy, a griffin, a mermaid, or a sea goat? What kind of monster are you? Below is a spell designed to amplify the powers you've developed this year. May it provide support through the mundane and adventurous moments of the next year and beyond. A superpower spell. Before you begin the spell, spend time thinking about the powers that you've cultivated intentionally or through tribulations that will help support your goals for this next year. As you tune in, make note of where these reside in your energetic field, if they correlate with certain symbols, herbs, colors, and so on. This is how you can customize this spell. If violet has come up as an herbal ally for your laser-like intuition, gathering violets or a violet tincture or the color violet would all be beautiful additions to your altar. As always, choose a manageable amount of qualities you are amplifying. 1 is probably too few, 5 is probably too many. You will need time before the spell to gather materials, reflect, write, and get clear on your intentions. At least 1 hour to do the spell. A photo of you that you love. You can also draw your own portrait. A candle for each quality you'd like to amplify. Pen or needle to carve into your candle. Gemstones or crystals that amplify, such as quartz, copper, pyrite, citron, ruby, or Herkimer diamond. Paper and writing utensil, any other materials that correspond to your superpower qualities and intentions for the next year. Before your spell, set up your altar, place your photo at the center, then place the materials you've gathered, then place your candles. Now you are supported. Call in each of the directions, create your circle, call in any helpers, write your new bio. Who are you now? What kind of person are you? What are you interested in creating, being, exploring? After you've written it down, fold it into 4 sections and slide it under your photo or drawing of you. Write down the qualities you wish to amplify, each on a separate piece of paper. Carve each candle with either the word or symbol of the word. As you light each candle, state out loud what this quality will help you do, move through, or become. Take the time to connect to the qualities energetically, raising energy and imagining yourself in situations and experiences you wish to call in. Take time you need to do this for each quality, then fold the paper and slide it under the candle. Use your breath and body to explore all new shapes that you've become and to explore new territories you've been traversing. Link the imagination to the body through the movement and intention. Make yourself art. Make yourself a harpy, a Medusa, a lioness, an artist, a writer, a saint, or whatever else comes to mind. Once you've expressed yourself fully, thank the elements, directions, and helpers. Make it beautiful. Make it a beautiful new moon and new year. I love you. Bye, friends.